Hi, welcome to the dice diving demo. This is a new game that combines the thrill of competitive high diving along with poker style dice rolling. To best understand how this game works, we're going to walk through a game together. We're going to start by tapping new. Since I've already completed this first event, let's swipe over to a new set of challenges. Here I'm going to tap the event belly flop. The main objective is to complete each dive list with a high enough score to earn either bronze, silver, or gold medal. In addition to the medals, you can also compete for world records up here in the top right. And these are scores that have been submitted by dice diving champions from around the world. So we're going to review the dive list. We got 3 of a kind and 3 rolls. We know what scores we need to achieve. Let's tap play to begin. In dice diving, you roll 5 dice to try to create the best poker hands possible. Now, similar to draw poker, you can tap on the dice you want to keep, and you can re-roll the other dice to try to form a better poker hand. Now, during gameplay, you're going to complete 8 hands, but this is where the diving twist comes in. 3 of these hands represent a high dive, and they include the approach, the flight, and the entry. And together, those 3 are going to be your dive difficulty. Now, each always follows the same format. For example, the approach is always 3 dice of the same value. In this case, it's 3 ones, and if you achieve that, you'll receive a 0.5 towards your difficulty. The flight is an exact poker hand, and is often the most important part of the dive. In this case, it's a 3 of a kind, and it would score a 0.8 towards your total difficulty. The entry is the sum of all 5 dice added together. In this case, the 5 dice need to add up to at least 16, and if they do, you'll score a 0.5 towards your total difficulty. So together, I've got a total dive difficulty of 1.8 that I'm trying to achieve. Now, just like in a dive event, your total score is your dive difficulty times your total judges score. As you can see, we have 5 judges here. The good news is, though, only 3 of those judges scores are going to count. So the bottom 2 judges scores will be tossed out, and they won't count against you. So if you have a bad hand, you get like a 2.3 or something, you know you can assign that to one of your 2 low judges, and that'll be tossed out. So that's always good news. Now, those scores, by the way, are also determined by poker hands, but unlike the top 3 dives, these you can be any poker hand you want. It's just the better the poker hand, the better the score is going to be. Okay, so a couple things to note on the screen. You'll see the rolls remaining down here in the left-hand corner. And if the 5 dice that you've rolled do not complete a certain dive event, you're going to see a red X appear. So for example, I've got 13 total points there, but I need 16 or more, so I get a red X. Now I can always click on the squares for the red X, but if I do, I don't get the 0.5, instead I just get a 0 for that. So it's not the best thing to do. Okay, so to be clear, I can actually click anything, anywhere. So I've got 3 ones and a pair of 5s, so I can choose my approach, I could choose my flight, because that's also a 3 of a kind. I could choose the entry, just not going to score it if I do. Or I can pick any of my judges, because the full house is worth a 7.5. So I can choose to score that for any of them. Since I can pick whatever I want, I think I'm going to go ahead and choose the 3 of a kind, because that's a big portion of my dive. And once I do that, you're going to see that it has locked in place. My score is shown up here on the scoreboard, so I can see that the entry is now scored for 0.8. I don't have a judge's score yet, because I've not completed any judges, and we're ready to begin a new round. So let's go ahead and roll. Alright, so I rolled a pair of 1s. Let's take those. Maybe we can accomplish the approach right off the bat. We'll roll again. Alright, well, we didn't get it yet, but we do have a 2, 3, and a 5. So, I think I'm going to try something different. I'm going to turn one of these 1s off, take a 2 and a 3. Let's see if we can get a 4 out of this. Alright, we got the 4. Now the 4 gives us a 5.4, because that's a run of 4. My sum also opened up, because I got my 6, and so the total of this is greater than 16. So I got a choice here. The 5.4 is okay. I think I'm going to go with the entry to get my entry out of the way, and we'll see again that's now appeared up on my scoreboard. So we can roll, begin a new round. Alright, so right off the bat, I rolled a run of 4. So I got the 4, the 3, the 2, and a 1. So let's see if we can get a 5 and even get a better score for my judge. So I'll roll again. And we got a 2. And we got a 1. Okay, we didn't get it, but that's okay. We'll take the 5.4. Assign that out. And now what we see up here on our score is that we have our judges is at 5.4 and our total score is at 7.02. Alright, so let's just keep rolling, see what we can do. Alright, this time I got a pair of 2s and a pair of 4s. So I think I'll take those. Meaning I just need to roll a 4 or 2 to get a full house. Hey, I got my 4. So that gives me a full house. That's worth a 7.4. Now you might be wondering, how are these judges' scores being calculated? Well, if you ever want to know, you can always click on Options, swipe over, and here you see the judges' scoring. And here it shows every possible poker hand that you can roll. When we find where we're at, we just got a full house. So the full house is a base score of 7. And you can see you take your base score plus the biggest die played equals your total. So we'll go back. So we got a base score of 7. Our biggest die is a 4. So we got a 7.4. That's how that score was resolved. So I'll go ahead and tap that for my Judge 2. Now I can see my total score is up to a 16.64. Alright, let's keep rolling. Ooh, okay, now we got a special hand here. So we got actually 2 things happen. As you can see, I got a run of 5 all in one roll. And so normally a run of 5 is worth 8. My highest dice is a 6, so normally it'd be an 8.6. But since I did it all in one roll, I get a bonus with that. And that gives me a 0.3 bonus, so I got a score of 8.9. That's a great score. So we're going to go ahead and lock that one in. We can now see our total scores up to a 28.21. So now we really want to focus on getting that approach. So let's go for that. We'll roll. Okay, so we got a couple options. Again, we got the 3s. But yeah, I want to go for that 1 because I want to try to get my approach done. So let's roll again. I got another 1. So we got a 6 and a pair of 2s. I hope we can get that last one. Ah, we didn't get it. And that's okay. So if I take this 2.1, which we'll go ahead and do, what you'll notice is my score didn't change. Again, that score is one of the lowest ones now, and so only the top 3 count. So that score will be kicked out. So let's roll. Alright, we got a pair of 1s. Let's take those and see if we can get that approach here. I'm going to roll again. I still didn't get it. We got 3, 4, 5, which, you know, normally we could try to go for a run, but let's go ahead and try one more time for our 1s. Oh, we still didn't get it. Alright, but we did get 2 pairs. That gives a total score of 3.6. Lock that in. Again, my score didn't change because these now are the 2 lowest scores and they're being tossed out. So we got 1 chance left to get those 3 1s. So let's roll. We did not get it. Now we would have had a full house, but we can't score that anywhere because they're already taken. So we're just going to roll again. And again, we didn't get it. Alright, let's try one more time. Ah, well, that's too bad. We didn't get it. We're out of rolls, and that's okay. So we're just going to have to accept our score at 28.21. So we'll tap the last spot. Now, even though we didn't finish that dive, we did get a bronze medal. If we had finished that dive, maybe we'd have gotten a silver or a gold. We'll never know. But you see our total score is 28.21. It gives us a world ranking of 155. I can go ahead and tap next. Now I can play any of these other dives. If I complete these 5 dives, I get at least a bronze in all these. The next set will become unlocked. But we're not there yet, so we got to complete these. I can also go back in here and choose to play again. I see my 28, so I just barely got my bronze. I can see where my world ranking is. I'm 155, well off the track for the people in the top 3. So I might want to try to play that again. Finally, if I go back to the main screen, I can look at the stats. And in here, what we're going to see is how I'm doing across the dives. So my first dive, I can see what my score was. I can see I was ranked 77th. My second dive, where I'm ranked. My overall score, my overall rank. And you can believe that as more people play, these are going to become, you know, not so good. I'm sure I'm not going to be ranked 304 for long if I don't do better. So, if I want, I can tap on this button, and this would actually email this screen to a friend of mine. I can challenge them in a game and see how they're doing. Okay, so that's dice diving in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this demo, and look for me on the App Store. I appreciate it.